Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Addie Crawford.
And I'm Amaya Ward. We begin tonight with breaking news. A recent update from Norman Public School officials indicate that names and social security numbers may be in jeopardy.
OU Nightly's Noah Mack is in the newsroom with the details. Noah?
Yeah, Addie, following an investigation by NPS, they found that family names and social security numbers could be in the hands of ransomware hackers. The school district was attacked by malicious ransomware back at the start of November. Now they have a website with the most recent updates and everything else families need to know about the attack. They also have a hotline where students and parents can call to access services that protect against identity theft. The call center will be available on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The district thanks families for their patience and says they will continue to keep families in the loop. Addie?
Thanks, Noah. Addie, I can't keep up with this weather. First it was sunny, first it was foggy, now the sun's trying to come out.
Well, that's Oklahoma weather for you. Let's head out to OU Nightly's Peyton Gallion, who is live with a first look at the forecast. Peyton?
That is right. I am live on the South Oval, and for the first time all day, daylight is hitting campus. We had that fog early this morning, which is why temperatures right now are creeping towards the 60s out in western Oklahoma, where they don't have that cloud cover, in near the 70s. Western Oklahoma a little bit cooler, and now compared to yesterday, we are a little bit warmer. It does not feel like December whatsoever. But coming up in Maine weather, I'm going to talk more about these roller coaster temperatures going up and down, triggering those allergies and sicknesses. The expected rainfall and cold front coming in for this weekend. Addie and Amaya, back to you at the desk, and I'll be inside shortly.
Thanks, Peyton. The trifecta, COVID, flu, and RSV, as some doctors are calling it, are straining hospitals across the country. Now, a debate about sick leave for workers is rising after a potential railroad worker strike closed off. CNN Amy Kiley has more.
Every American worker ought to have paid leave.
As the threat of a rail worker strike winds down, the debate over paid sick leave is heating up. It was a final sticking point between unions and railroad companies. An amendment from progressive Democrats would have given the workers 7 sick days, but only the broader bill made it through the Senate.
We don't want to say to rail workers, if you have a heart attack or you break your leg, you either show up to work or you're going to lose your job.
More than 33 million civilian U.S. workers have no paid sick leave. That's according to the advocacy organization Family Values at Work Action. A growing number of states, counties, and cities have been mandating the benefit in recent years, but the absence of a federal standard sets the U.S. apart from most industrialized nations.
We can't go too far left. This is not a center-left or a left country.
That's moderate Democratic Senator Joe Manchin speaking after he thwarted a bill with paid leave last year. Traditionally, the GOP has said mandatory paid leave would be too hard on businesses that can't afford it.
I think there's an ongoing conversation in this country about how to make sure that workers in this sector and in every sector get the support that they need.
Small poke.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
More than 20% of U.S. workers are in the same position, according to government data.
Turning now to the latest numbers in the U.S. jobs market. The Labor Department says the U.S. added 263,000 jobs in November. The unemployment rate held steady at 3.7% despite layoffs and hiring freezes in multiple job sectors. The report also found hourly wages grew 5.1% over the past year. The better-than-expected gains could greenlight the Federal Reserve to continue to hike interest rates.
Coming up on OU Nightly, are 5-day work weeks a thing of the past?
Well, the results from a 6-month experiment might say different.
The city of Minneapolis reaches a settlement with 12 injured protesters.
Find out what the agreement includes when we come back.
Your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane. You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Now, more news impacting Norman residents. Associate District Judge Timothy Olson ruled against the OTA in the controversial Turnpike expansion. OU Nightly's Tyler DeLuca is live with more.
Yeah, guys, it's back to square one for the Turnpike expansion. Yesterday, a judge in Seminole County ruled against the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority in a decision that voided all previously made contracts by the OTA.
I discovered, I think, via a Facebook post that the Turnpike Authority was planning to put a highway right next to my house.
Tassie Hirschfield, a Pike-Off OTA volunteer and Norman resident, was one of many who found out via social media rather than from their government. Last night's ruling saying the OTA willingly violated the Open Meeting Act declared that could no longer be the case.
It's a big deal because if you are a state agency and you violate this law, the way the law is written, then, and this is what the judge did, it invalidates every action that was taken while the agency was in violation of the Open Meetings Act.
The OTA released a statement today stating, "We respect the court's decision and will go about bringing new items of business to correct what the court found to be deficient for the authority board's consideration." And now for the OTA, it's back to square zero.
So this case is, just screams of impropriety. I hope when the OTA undertakes its new endeavor to perhaps undertake Access Oklahoma, that those irregularities will be rectified. But the violation has occurred, the harm has been done, and there needs to be accountability for that.
This is far from the last time that the Turnpike expansion will be challenged in court, as several lawsuits are still in play. Reporting live here in Norman, Tyler DeLuca, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Tyler. A shortened work week and the same pay sounds pretty good, right? Well, 33 companies participated in a 6-month trial with the nonprofit 4-Day Work Week Global, and the results are in. A 4-day work week is good for business. Organizers say the trial was an enormous success. All the companies that completed the post-experiment survey said they were planning to stick with the 4-day work week. Companies reported higher earnings and worker satisfaction. And new details today surrounding last month's murder of rapper Takeoff. Brooke Kelser has that and more national headlines from the News Center.
A suspect has been charged with murder in the investigation of the death of rapper Takeoff. The suspect, Patrick Xavier Clark, was charged with murder and another man was charged with carrying an unlawful weapon. Despite the arrest, police are still wanting to speak to witnesses of the shooting. A settlement has been reached between the city of Minneapolis and protesters injured in the events that followed the 2020 murder of George Floyd. The 12 protesters will receive $600,000 divided between them. They were reported to suffer from bruising, psychological trauma, and lingering respiratory issues due to the tear gas that was used. Hate speech has dramatically increased on Twitter since the new ownership of Elon Musk. Today, Musk responded to a New York Times article written about the research that has been done on the increase and states that it is false. Going forward from now, Twitter will show its data for hate speech on a weekly basis. Currently in Hawaii, the lava flow from the Mauna Loa eruption is slowing, having caused no major damage yet. Amaya and Addie, back to you.
Thanks, Brooke. December just started and so are the holiday festivities.
If you're looking to ring in the holiday season, then we have you covered when OU Nightly returns.
And some of these activities are outdoors. So Peyton, is there a chance for any rain on our Christmas parade?
There is a chance of rain in your forecast for this weekend. I'll time it out for you and tell you when it will impact you here in Norman coming up.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Central and Midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are, they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to OU Nightly, and I am back inside right now across the South Oval where I just was. You can see that sun is starting to set. No fog in the sky like this morning, 59 degrees. It's still a little warm, still a little cold, kind of that in-between weather across the metro. You can just see over in eastern Oklahoma, that's where the cloud cover is still there. And then in western Oklahoma is where they don't have as much cloud cover. You can see the variations in the temperatures and just across the rest of the state. 50s over here, 70s over there. It's just kind of all over the place. And even taking a look at the national level, you can see this front. You're going to want to pay attention to that because that's going to be impacting us this weekend. But parts of northern America, single-digit temperatures, it is feeling just like they are back in December. And so you can see that fog starting to move out from this morning that was in our forecast. You can see Denver does have that snow. There's no snow in your forecast, however. Going throughout the rest of the night, temperatures slowly going to warm up. Clouds slowly going to come back into your forecast, and temperatures, they're going to get cold tonight. Temperatures across Norman, 34 degrees, 33 in Oklahoma City, below freezing out in that panhandle. Guymon at 22 degrees. Idabel, once again, an outlier. Cold front won't reach them overnight, and with the overnight cold front is going to be an excessive wind chill. It's going to feel extremely cold, 20 degrees. I'm glad football season is over because I don't want to be sitting in the Palace on the Prairie with these cold wind chills again, and they're going to last throughout the duration of Saturday and into Sunday. Now tomorrow morning, expiring at 6 a.m., we have a wind advisory associated with that cold front, and these temperatures are all over the place, up and down and up and down. A slightly above average, slightly below average for this time in December, and with that cold front, we do have rain. So tomorrow, it's going to be fine, but late tomorrow night, 6:30 is when rain is going to be entering the state of Oklahoma, coming down here in Norman through the overnight hours, and it's going to clear out. The rest of your Sunday is going to be probably the best day because temperatures are going to be up again and then back down again. Temperatures going to be back in the 30s. Monday, the best day we're going to have, 65 degrees. Tuesday, 51, clear skies. And then temperatures are going to get back into normal, but we are monitoring another rain chance going through the next few days of your work week. Addie and Amaya.
Thanks, Peyton. If you're looking for some fun things to do this weekend around Norman, tonight is the Andrews Park tree lighting at 5:30 where you can enjoy some hot cocoa and holiday music.
Tomorrow is the Norman Main Street Christmas Holiday Parade featuring bands, floats, and horses. It starts at 6 p.m.
And on Sunday, bring your pets for a photo with Santa to Pawtopia from 12 to 5.
Looking forward to that. Well, Sooner men's basketball is facing a tough opponent coming up.
They sure do. Big Friday Sports' Stone Weber is here to tell us more.
Vandervelde found out she's got some reporting competition, but maybe not from who you'd expect. Stick around, Big Friday Sports is next.
Is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome to Big Friday Sports. I'm Stone Weber.
And I'm Hallie Moss. Oklahoma men's basketball is coming off of their ESPN Events Invitational title and are headed east to Pennsylvania to take on Villanova in the Big 12 Big East battle on Saturday.
The last time the Sooners played the Wildcats back in 2016, it was the largest Final Four loss ever. Head coach Porter Moser breaks down how his new guards are impacting their season.
I think our freshmen Milo Suzan and Otega Uwe have really had really good off seasons or summers with us. They had length, athleticism, and then Grant Sherfield and Joe Bama still a transfer portal. So I like our guards. I feel like we're way deeper this year at the guard position.
And coming off of their 43-point win over Northwestern State, an SEC test now awaits Oklahoma women's basketball. The Sooners will host Ole Miss here in Norman at the Lloyd Noble Center with tip-off at 2 p.m.
And the OU women's basketball team is plenty busy on the court, but they're also taking the time to help those in need during the holiday season.
OU Nightly's Ashley Vandervelde gives us a look at a heartwarming way the team helped lift some spirits.
You know what else I like to do? I like to give high fives. Do you like to give high fives? Can you show me?
Okay.
Okay. Sweet.
A day filled with photo ops, laughter, and lots of questions.
Can you ask Maddie Williams who her favorite coach is? Do you remember that?
Made for a very special day for these kids.
Obviously, kids hold a special place in my heart. I have 3 of my own, and I think it's just awesome. Like, it's fun. And, you know, sometimes you forget in the world of college athletics and in the heat of the season, literally how simple and fun life really is. And so this is one of those great moments that just can showcase that.
It was right in this gym where OU women's basketball practices every day that a couple OU Children's Hospital OU Health patients came to sit down and interview head coach Jenny Baranchek and player Maddie Williams.
My favorite part of the interviewing was interviewing.
Sponsored by OU Health, these kids got to spend some quality time with OU women's basketball.
You know, just shoot it up in the air, hold your follow through, like this. Let me see you do it. Yes, like that, and I'm sure it'll go in.
And it made for some very special memories.
And we're running from one thing to the next, and we're behind in everything. But the simple joy of just talking to a kid you know, and there's just that innocence and there's that trust and there's that just simple belief. I think if we can all just take a second to be able to take that time, magic will happen for everybody.
Reporting from the Lloyd Noble Center, Ashley Vandevelde, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Ashley. The Thunder are coming off of a 119-111 win over the San Antonio Spurs. Rookie Jalen Williams dropped a career-high 27 points while shooting 73% from the field. The Thunder will need Williams to step up again as they play the Minnesota Timberwolves tomorrow night.
And coming up next, Ballin' with Brig is making his return as he'll tell us the new Class 6A2 state champion.
And we'll give you a look at a certain Sooners return to the field after being sidelined due to an illness. Don't go anywhere.
To Sofia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Central and Midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are, they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Big Friday Sports, and if you are heading out to state football championships tonight or tomorrow, you're going to want to grab that jacket for tomorrow because McAllister and Carl Albert and Cushing and Wagner, temperatures going to be in the 40s, but tonight for that 6A title, Bigsby versus Owasso, temperatures are going to be in the 60s, much nicer than normal, typical December than games tomorrow. And the rest of the week ahead, temperatures are going to continue to stay right around average with a slight warm up on Monday. Stone and Hallie.
Thanks, Peyton. Well, Stone, this Sunday's a big day in college football.
Yeah, that's right. Not only do we find out the 4 teams that will make the college football playoff this year, but we also find out what teams will face off in their bowl games.
The Sooners are among those teams that will find out their bowl game fate on Sunday.
According to projections from various media outlets, there are 3 likely candidates for the Sooners: the Guaranteed Rate Bowl in Phoenix, the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, and the Texas Bowl in Houston. And this football season was full of new faces, but a familiar face made his return to the field and did not disappoint. Big Friday Sports' Jimmy Wicks breaks down OU defensive tackle Jalen Redmond's remarkable comeback.
Health can be taken for granted. Nobody understands this more than star defensive lineman Jalen Redmond. The former top recruit out of Midwest City missed most of his 2018 season and his 2020 season due to blood clot issues. It was a decision that was not an easy one, but for Redmond, he is grateful to be back out there with his team with a new focus.
Honestly, just more focused, man. Not saying I wasn't focused then, but I felt like I was still young. I sat out a lot, and I'm just more focused this year. You know, I feel like I had a son, and he didn't change my life all the way around. So I got more responsibility on my plate, and I think that's what it is. Honestly, it grow me into a man in a few months. So.
With his family and team support, Jalen Redmond shined in front of the Sooner faithful this season, recording 23 tackles and 4 sacks in his redshirt junior season. But despite the hurdles in his way, Jalen Redmond has taken it all in stride.
I've been at my lowest point sometimes since I've been here, and it hadn't been all great. You know, you try not to show it, but it's been a difficult time, and I'm trying to move past that and look forward to the future.
And those tough times did pay off because today Jalen Redmond was chosen to go the Reese Senior Bowl February 4th of next season. Jimmy Wicks, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Jimmy. And this Saturday, it's a battle of the purples to see who will win the Big 12 Conference title.
The 12-0 TCU Horned Frogs host the K-State Wildcats at AT&T Stadium in Dallas for an 11 a.m. kickoff.
And bringing us the action from the Class 6A2 state championship football game that just ended, Brig Bates returns to Big Friday Sports to break it down.
Welcome back to Ballin' with Brig. It's state championship weekend in Oklahoma as Choctaw High School takes on Stillwater High School in the Class 6A Division II High School State Championship. The last time Choctaw won it was in 1960, and the last time Stillwater took home the trophy was in 1967. Tensions are high as both teams are eager to win and bring home their city some new hardware.
Everyone is wondering who is going to bring home this spectacular trophy. Will it be the Stillwater Pioneers or the Choctaw Yellow Jackets? Stillwater defense starts off slow but makes it count when in the red zone as they force a turnover on downs and take over. But the Yellow Jackets swarm back on offense and Latrell Ray punches it in for 7 as Choctaw takes the early 7-0 lead in the state championship. But here comes Stillwater as they get momentum as the first half comes to end with a trick play and an acrobatic catch as Julius Talley finds the end zone to tie the game up 7-7 before the half. Some say the TD was dropped, but refs ruled the catch a touchdown. And with under a minute to go in the game, the Stillwater Pioneers up 20-14. Zach Tyson ices the game with a touchdown as the Stillwater Pioneers take home the Oklahoma Class 6A Division II State Championship as the fans rush the field to celebrate their first football state championship since 1967.
Thanks, Brig, and congrats to the Pioneers. Moving on to some other local state championship matchups. In Class 6A Division I, Bixby and Owasso face off tonight at 7 p.m.
And in Class 5A, McAllister and Carl Albert will battle it out Saturday at 1 p.m. And also on Saturday, we'll see if Cushing or Wagner will take home the Class 4A title at 7 p.m. And now on to a different kind of football. The World Cup journey for Team USA continues Saturday morning.
The U.S. men's national team takes on the Netherlands at 9 a.m. and Christian Pulisic has been cleared to play.
And we have some breaking news this afternoon. Senior offensive lineman Wanye Morris announced via his Twitter account that he's declaring for the NFL Draft. Thanks for tuning in to Big Friday Sports.
Enjoy Conference Championship weekend, and don't forget to tune in to the U.S. game tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a good night.
Is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane. You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important